Are you in the market for a new outdoor camera system? What if I told you there's a system that has 4K video, battery and solar power, IP67 outdoor rating, supports Sydney recordings via RTSP, expandable local storage, onboard AI detection for vehicles, animals, people, and faces, and best of all, no monthly fee? Well, stay tuned as we take a first look at the new Eufy 3rd generation outdoor camera system. Hi everyone. This is Ryan with This Smart House. On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the next generation of Eufy's outdoor camera systems. This is Eufy's 3rd generation of their HomeBase system that interconnects battery-powered cameras with a central base station that does onboard recording and AI detection with notifications. Now, later in the video, we're going to take a look at some of the compatible devices that are both currently supported with the new base station or that will be supported in the next year. So stick around for that. But first, I wanted to thank Eufy for sending me over this early version of their camera system to test out and for sponsoring this week's video. So before we take a look at the features of this system, let's see what comes in the box. So included in this particular kit is 2 of the S330 solar-powered 4K cameras, 1 of the S380 HomeBase version 3s, 2 of the screw mounting base plates, a power cable, a networking cable, and a USB-C charging cable for use with the base station, screws and mounting hardware for the cameras, and hard drive screws and a reset tool. Now, a hard drive is not included with this kit, but you can choose any 2.5-inch laptop-sized hard drive. More on that later. Now, if you're not familiar with the difference between the various resolutions out there, 4K is actually 4 times the resolution of a standard 1080p full HD camera, like the version 3 WiseCam. So what does this increased resolution actually get you? Well, of course it's a trade-off. With higher resolution, you consume more storage and bandwidth, but in exchange, you get greater details. This means the camera can make out faces and even license plates of cars pulling up to your house. This means you can use the Eufy app and digitally zoom up to 8 times to see details at a farther distance when viewing a recording. Now, the system defaults to recording in 4K, but you can adjust this down if you don't need the extra quality. The system also lets you adjust the playback quality while watching video via the app, but it will still record in whatever quality you've already selected. The camera comes equipped with an f1.4 fixed aperture, which means that the camera should perform quite well in low light. As I mentioned before, the camera is powered by a massive 13,400 mAh battery. Eufy claims this camera has a 1-year, 365-day battery. Of course, I haven't been able to test that, but a lot of it depends on how much motion occurs in front of the camera and how far away it is from the base station. Now, another great feature is the integrated solar panel. Eufy states that just 2 hours of sunlight a day can keep the battery topped off indefinitely, meaning if you place this camera in a location that gets good sun, you never have to charge it. So you definitely want to take this into consideration when mounting the camera. Now, looking at the other features of the camera, it's included a white spotlight that can be triggered by motion or via the app. This spotlight's also used if you want color night vision. The camera also supports black and white infrared night vision if you don't want to use the spotlight. So if you do use the color night vision, then when it detects motion, it will activate the spotlight, so the camera will be obvious. If you don't want that, then you can use the black and white night vision, which will only use the IR emitters, which are nearly invisible. Also, the camera supports 2-way audio via the integrated speaker and microphone, so you can talk and listen while watching the live view from the camera. Now, to round out the camera, on the back is the sync button used to pair with the base station. There's also a reset hole for resetting the camera with the included tool, and the 1/4-20 mount point, which of course is the standard for mounting most cameras, meaning you can use the included screw mounts or any third-party mounts that you'd like. Finally is the charging cover. Once you open this, it exposes the USB-C charging port. You will need to charge the camera for around 8 hours before using it the first time. You can charge it off port 1 on the base station, which is marked with a lightning bolt, or any 5-volt, 2-amp phone charger. Now, most of the work happens on the base station. This is not only what connects the cameras to the app, but also serves as the NVR for footage storage. The cameras do not have any onboard storage, so all of the storage resides on the base station. This station comes with an included 16 gigabytes of storage, but please note, not all of this is available for use. Eufy claims that this would hold about 3 months of video from the 2 included cameras. Now, you can add on a common 2.5-inch laptop hard drive up to 16 terabytes. To add the hard drive, you just need to open the top by pressing down on one side of the magnetic lid, then remove the set screw and pop out the hard drive tray. The kit does include the mounting screws for the hard drive. Another feature you can do is archiving older footage off the station using a USB 2.0 or 3.0 hard drive attached to the back of the base station. In addition to storage, the base station also does all of the video processing for the AI-based notifications. It does onboard detection of vehicles, people, and animals. This means you can get customized notifications about each of these in addition to a standard motion notification. And one of the outstanding features of the Eufy system is that it allows you to do facial recognition. Because of the high resolution of the cameras, it can identify faces within the frame. When you access the application, it will actually show you a list of all the faces that it has detected and allow you to identify them and set them as a category like a family member or a guest. Then, when you sort through the footage, it will show you clips with those faces next to it. Now, according to Eufy, all of this is stored and processed only on the device and not uploaded to the cloud, so all of this detection is done on board locally. So not only does the base station work for the included cameras in the kit, but you can also add additional cameras from the same version 3 series. Plus, most of the previous generation of cameras are already supported to add to the base station, and more support will be added by the end of the year with future firmware updates. Alright, so let's go get the cameras set up in the application. Now, setting these cameras up is also pretty easy. Once you get the application downloaded and installed on your mobile device, you need to first add the base station. To do this, all you need to do is follow the on-screen instructions, and when asked, scan the QR code on the bottom of the base station. Then, after naming the base station, it's going to ask you to take a picture of your face. This is so the camera can identify you as part of the AI face recognition. Once you add your face and your name, the system will, of course, check for firmware updates. Note, if you have installed a hard drive, it will prompt you to format it. This is required before you use the drive to store video. Then we can move on to adding the cameras. Now, the application will tell you that you need to be within 1 meter to set up the camera. Make sure you follow this direction, because it seems that the cameras in the base station use high frequency or ultrasonic sound to communicate during setup. So you should be right next to the base station when setting up the cameras. So when instructed, press the sync button on the back of the camera until it beeps. After about 30 seconds, the base station should find the camera, and then you can give it a name. Once the camera is set up, it'll give you some installation tips and do a signal check. Now is a good time to move the camera to where you will install it permanently. You can repeat the same process for the second camera. Now that our cameras are set up and connected, we can go outside and get them installed. Now, because these cameras are completely wireless, installation is a snap. All you need to do is find a suitable location outside, preferably a location that gets direct sunlight for more than 2 hours each day. Now, Eufy recommends that the camera is installed about 8 feet above ground level, facing straight out. This is to maximize the chance of catching a face at the right angle to be able to identify it. They recommend angling the camera down about 5 degrees from level and avoid pointing it directly at a busy road, blowing trees or plants, or areas that might have constant motion like an AC outdoor unit. Now, I recommend before making the installation permanent, place your camera in the area to ensure that you get good signal and sunlight. They actually have a solar charging dashboard that we'll look at in the next section. Now, for my testing, I just zip tied the base to my downspout and then screwed the cameras on. They're so lightweight that I haven't had any issues with them moving. Now, this isn't a great permanent installation, but great for testing. Now, to make the installation permanent, just use the included template to mark and pre-drill your holes. Then just screw the base into the wall, screw the camera into the base, and then tighten the base by rotating the connector while holding the camera in the desired position. Easy as that. Now, before we finish up, let's take a quick tour of the application. Just as a quick note, I'm using the pre-released beta version of the Eufy security app. So any visual quirks will most likely be fixed before the camera is actually released. So first, let's take a look at the cameras. If you click the play button, it'll take you right into the camera feed. From here, you have the option of watching the live feed, where you can also pinch in to zoom. Along the bottom of the live feed are some quick access features. The recording button will start recording a clip and store it directly on your phone. The scissors button will take a still screen grab and save it to your phone with some options to directly share it out from there. If you press and hold the microphone button, it'll allow you to talk to anybody who's standing outside in front of your camera. The speaker button will mute and unmute the audio feed coming from the microphone on the camera. So if we tap the 3 lines on the bottom right, it'll take us to some more options. Now the clock icon will quickly take you to that day's event recordings. If we click on the moon icon, it'll let you change the night vision mode directly from the camera feed. If you press the alarm button, it will let you change the options for the manual alarm and also set it off if you need to. Then finally, the light bulb icon will let you toggle on and off the spotlight, and if you press the X, it returns back to the main option menu. Then if you click the gear at the top right hand corner, we'll be taken to the camera settings, where you can quickly disable the camera with a slide of the button at the top. Now if we click on the motion detection, it gives us numerous customizations for our motion activation. If you click here, you can set an activity zone where the camera will ignore motion outside of this area. You can also create multiple zones if needed. Directly below this, you can change the motion sensitivity. Then below that, you can set the type of motion detection that will trigger recording if it happens inside the zone. It'll detect human shapes, human faces, vehicles, pets, and also general motion. You can also test your motion settings by clicking down here. So if we go back to the main settings menu, we can click on the power manager. And here we'll see at the top if the camera is currently being charged by the sun and its current battery level. Below that are detection statistics. This shows you how many events were detected by the camera versus the ones that were triggered with your preferences. The section under that allows you to change the camera's working mode between optimal battery life, recording preference for longer clips, or even a custom recording setting. In the custom recording mode, you can choose the clip length from 5 to 120 seconds, and how long the camera sleeps between triggers. You can also tell the camera to stop recording if motion is no longer detected during that threshold. Then down at the bottom of the screen, you can change how the camera thinks it's being charged, whether using the internal battery in the solar panel or an external solar panel. I did confirm with Eufy that they'll be releasing an adapter to convert their existing solar panels to USB-C for use with this camera. They also said they support third-party solar panels that do have a USB-C output. Then at the bottom is a solar dashboard we talked about before. This shows you the battery usage versus the solar charging so you can optimize your battery life. This is a super nice feature that I haven't seen on any other solar powered devices. Back in the main settings, we can set the spotlight brightness and if the camera will set off the siren if someone attempts to remove it. Below that, we get into our video settings where we can customize the on-screen display and the watermark. We can also set the streaming quality if you want to force it into a specific quality. You can also change the recording quality here. We also have access to the night vision mode settings and also setting up privacy zones to block out certain parts of the footage to protect your neighbor's privacy. Back on the main menu, we have our audio settings where we can enable or disable the microphone and speakers and also disable audio recording. Under notification, we can change the style and speed of the notifications that we get from the app. You can also set it to include a thumbnail if you want and also change the sound of the notification. Under general is where we can change the name, enable the status LED on the front, view the mounting guide again, and see camera software information. Now, this is a big feature that I haven't seen really on any battery-powered cameras. If you click the storage button, it'll take you into the RTSP settings. So you can actually enable sending your recordings to another software via RTSP, which is amazing that a battery-powered camera actually supports RTSP. Now please note, it's only going to send event recording. You cannot do 24/7 live stream. Now Eufy has a guide specifically designed for the Synology Security Station software, but this should work for other softwares like Blue Iris. I have a link to the guide down in the description and here on screen. The last couple settings on the camera setting page are where you can share your cameras with other family members and also submit feedback. Now quickly, let's head back to the dashboard and take a look at the base station. Now the base station settings are where you tweak the facial recognition. If you see under face management, the left number is the number of faces that you haven't set up, and the number on the right is the number of recognized faces. If these faces are recognized, they will show up along with the recorded video in the event recording tab. You can also manually add someone's face to recognition by taking a picture of them with your phone's camera. If you click on the AI Empowerment button, it will explain more about the onboard AI and allow you to enable and disable the features per camera. Then at the bottom, you can view your available storage and format the hard drive if needed. Then below this is where you set up video archiving to an external USB hard drive. Finally, back on the main page at the bottom, we can navigate through the bottom tabs. We're already in the first tab for devices. Then if you click on the events, we'll see all the triggered recordings. Of course, you can filter by event type, AI detection type, which device it was recorded on, and others. You will notice that any recognized faces will show up at the top, allowing you to quickly filter by that face. As you scroll down the footage, you will see what specifically triggered each recording and which part of the footage it detected it from. Clicking on the footage will play it back and allow you to jump to the frame that triggered the recording. You can of course share, download, delete, favorite, or submit the clip to Eufy. If we click on the Edge tab, we'll be shown information about each of the AI modes and any faces that are unfamiliar, where you can either set them as a person or leave them as strangers. You can also help the onboard recognition by selecting or removing matches between faces and bodies. The Security tab lets you integrate other Eufy security devices and set up different modes. And finally, the Explore tab will take you to the store where you can view specials and other items to purchase. Now, I know that was a lot of information, so thank you for sticking it out this far. This camera system has a ton of features, so I appreciate your patience. Now, overall, I think the system is super powerful and will meet most consumers' needs. Now, it is on the pricey side at $549 US for the 2 cameras and base station kit, but you're getting a lot for that price. Plus, it's comparable to other systems on the market like the Arlo Ultra 2. Now, if you're already in the Eufy universe, then I think this is a no-brainer if you're in the market for new wireless cameras. If you are someone getting started and want a super easy but still powerful solution, then again, this might be the right choice for you. The only people that this isn't really going to work for is if you're looking for continuous 24/7 recording. That isn't going to be possible with any battery-powered camera, so I'd recommend looking for something that's constantly powered and possibly power over Ethernet. The other group would be those who this is outside of their budget. Now, this is not going to be something that you're going to impulse buy. I'd recommend looking at your requirements and making sure this actually fits your needs. That being said, if this is within your budget, the system seems like something that will become the hub of your home security environment. Now, before I let you go, just as a quick side note for all of my Home Assistant users out, there is a Eufy security integration in the Hack Store for Home Assistant. Now, with this system being pre-released, I wasn't able to get it working with the integration, but I hope that the developer adds support for the system as the previous generation of battery-powered cameras are currently supported. I'll make another video or a short once I get it set up. And again, I want to thank Eufy for sending this camera system over and sponsoring today's video. I look forward to working with them more in the future. If you are interested in picking one of these up, of course there are links down in the description below. Before you go, if you'd like to see more of my camera videos, check out this playlist right here. And as always, if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo right here. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.